Ash. Usually I'm here with Wes for the Adventure Lions, but we only get one half of us today because Wesley is at work and we've had a bit of a funky week, so we didn't pre-film a video to account for this, but that's okay. Today it's like a little bit more of a concentrated, specific kind of video. So what's so fun is that we've been having enough videos kind of coming out that certain search terms of things that we talk about and put in our description, it's drawing other people in. And one of the search terms that was kind of flagging people was the Farpoint or 40, the Osprey travel backpack that Wesley's going to be bringing on the Cotswold Way. So I thought, okay, that's super neat. If this is something that people are actively looking for, we can definitely do a kind of review and show you in the size and stuff before we go, which won't necessarily be a recommendation or a suggestion that you get it, but kind of maybe to help you decide if what we are able to show you is something that really resonates. And then in that same video, I made a reference to a different backpack that we use for travel. So this one is more like a cozy travel kind of thing than like the hardcore kind of backpacking kind of travel that we have planned for this year. So I'll start with the one that's more the cozy travel, just because I know this one the best. I've used it several times. Wesley has one, his is in green, mine is in pink, and you are likely to have seen this backpack absolutely everywhere. Just everybody at the airport has it, pretty much. We've seen so many people, and then lots of people on social media have it, and I mean, you've seen it. I'm sure you've seen it. But if you've seen it and been like, okay, but is it worth it? So I think I paid like $35 to $37 each for ours. Super worth it. They're really big, but they are still carry-on compliant. Again, like I always search the specific airline, but we've had no problems so far. They have two little front pockets, which is perfect. They have a wet pocket here, so it's that kind of waterproof plasticky texture that goes all the way down, super deep, the whole length of this bag. But it does only open to here, just interesting to know. This is the main big pocket. It opens like luggage, which is really big for us when we want to travel with that. This is the inside of the shoe compartment, which I'll show you separately. This is the plug that you would put into your power bank, and then you can plug it in on the outside so you're not opening and closing your bag and whatever you need to be doing to get this to work when you're at an airport or something. You just have your power bank on and then just plug in right into here, and that worked really well for us. Here is the padded kind of back you can kind of see. So we carry our tablets in the back here. If I'm going somewhere that we have our laptops or something, we put them in here too, but we mostly travel with our tablets. The back, this is a big difference that I noticed. So there's no way to tuck these away, which I wouldn't have even thought about, but the Osprey kind of addresses that. Really good padding. We've been very far. We've walked forever with these. We've put them through some good abuse to say they're good. Oh, and this is another secret pocket down here at the back with all this padding. So super great. We really like it. I'm not like all that careful. I try to be so careful, but just who I am. I broke some Christmas ornaments today, and I just feel like that really resonates for who I kind of am as a person. Like I try my best, but just who I am. So definitely scuffed up and marked, and that's just having a lighter color and dragging it around airports and buses, and you know, I've brought in lots of subways and boats, and you know, it's been everywhere. And then this is a shoe pocket. We don't usually travel with like that many pairs of shoes to make it kind of like an issue or anything. Our last we did a 7-day trip in these, and we just brought one pair of shoes. So we started using it as dirty laundry. So that worked for us. And another thing though is like it fills up. So it's a good way to keep them separate, but it doesn't give you more ability to bring more things. Just keep that in mind, because I feel like that kind of gets lost in my mental translation sometimes. All right, we are back to the big pocket here, and they have these little separator areas that you can put different things in here. So I have yet to find like a super great way that I like to pack this section out, because again, it just takes up so much room in here, and then you have to open it to get in here. So I don't know. things just kind of fit weird in here. Like pencils and pens I've put in here. But then I have to wait till I get to my destination to kind of access them because you got to open the whole thing. So it's neat. I haven't found a perfect use for them, but if I do, I'll let you know. Packing cubes, I feel is another thing. Packing cubes and these would probably be really good. When I was buying packing cubes for the first trip that I thought they'd be really useful for, I did find that I bought a large, a medium, and small set for one for each of us. And the large is just so big, we just use that as, like, that's our luggage because it's so big. So, I don't know, it's not really useful to put in here. Even in our carry-on, like our rolling luggage carry-on, it's just so big. So the medium I also find is a little bit too big, and the small is good, but you only have one each of them, so. The life of packing cubes, I haven't figured it out. In theory, I love it. I think it's great. What I do kind of use right now, I have a reusable Ziploc bag, and my little things like socks and underwear and stuff, I put them in here separately. I did back at one time, and I put all my socks and underwear right at the top, and then I had to open my backpack for something, like an actual backpack, and I was like, okay, all my underwear sitting at the top. What do you, border crossing, what do you need to see? So that was a bummer, but you know, learn from that. Sits at the bottom now. Okay, so that about $37. Mine is pink. Wesley's is green. Great for kind of shorter travel where you're just going from destination to destination. You don't have to kind of bring it with you. It did get very heavy and hard to carry while we were in Vegas because we were, you know, checked out of our airport, or I'm so sorry, we checked out of our hotel, and then we had about 12 hours that we needed to spend just existing in Vegas before we headed to the airport for our flight. So that it did get heavy, did get hard to carry, but perfect experience because then that led us to being like, okay, so we want to do a trip like that again, but we want to add in more walking. What does that look like and what does that mean? So did a bunch of research, came up, Osprey was the brand that kept coming up, and I was like, there's no way I would spend $300 on a backpack. Like, what is it gonna carry itself for me? Okay. I have one. I did not spend $300. I did not spend anywhere near $300. I didn't even spend $200 on this. I got a super great deal on it. We got a couple different discounts that we were able to stack when we bought it. I think we only paid about $150 for these after kind of all was said and done on that, and very proud of that. There is a very similar style. It has a bunch of different zippers and everything, but it's I think it's the 55 liter, and it's a 40 liter backpack like this. And then it has a 15 liter kind of day pack that'll clip onto the front. So that's, you have different clips and stuff and the slide through here and stuff. So we can add one onto this, but we just found that for our purpose and our traveling style, that wouldn't be the best way to go about it. And I already have a day backpack that I really like to use that I scoured the internet for, and it's bright orange and I love it, and I like to take it hiking, and it's not the most practical, but I just love it so much that it just makes up for it. So 40 liters though. The pink one is also about 40 liters, and the reason for that, that's kind of the dimensions that'll allow you to take it as a carry-on item on airplanes. Rule of thumb, always check, always check. When I'm packing, I just walk around with like a tape measure in my phone in my hand and with the screen up with all the dimensions that I can have, because I'm not getting stopped on that. Like, what a stress. I don't do that kind of stress when I can avoid that kind of stress. Anyway, back to my Osprey. So in the Cotswold video, we did mention that there is a men's and women's version, and I do have the women's version. So that is called the Fairview 40. Fairview is for the women's size, and it's supposed to be able to accommodate women's body in a better way than the men's, or you know, the favorite word for that, unisex. So we haven't tried that part of it yet, and that is something I think would have to review after some serious use, because I can be like, yeah, I see what they're saying, but I don't want to say like, yeah, for sure, until I know for sure. So what's really cool about this one, right off the top, I mentioned with the pink, these are the straps, and they do have still lots of padding, all of that. And when you're walking down the aisle of a bus or a ferry or the airplane, and these are all hanging out usually anywhere that's kind of, I don't know, and then you get caught on seats and you're hitting people and you're trying to get it up, and the things are all, the loose straps are all swinging and hitting people, and you're like, oh my God, please just stop. They thought of that because this is a backpack that's several times the amount of the pink one. So this flap here, you can roll it up and tuck it into the bottom, or you can zip it up and now it's just a duffel bag with this little handle. So you're walking down the aisle of the plane and things are so easy and beautiful and it's great. So I thought that I was really impressed with that. Might not be that impressed with that. I really like it. Alrighty, next on that, I like that it has a little ID tag too. For if anything happens, you know where to find your ID. You know where you've kept your ID and somebody can help you ID yourself, your bag, where you're going, what you're doing. Depends. It has a really sturdy back on it too. So it does have a compartment for a laptop up to 16 inches. You can kind of, it'll be behind this piece here. Is that correct? Wesley corrected me last time. I think that's correct. But it also has, with this padding, okay, yes, this all comes undone and everything. Little clips here, then it has these ones here, and this back, that is so solid. I feel like that's gonna really help when you're walking around and carrying it. It'll give you something, you know, it'll really give you something to put your back against and to kind of line up with your back. So I'm hoping that really makes a difference. I found that was really cool, that support. There's not a ton of pockets on the inside, so it does still open like the luggage, which, big deal, again. It has this zipper. This is a zipper pouch too. I feel like just like the pink one, I'm not really sure entirely what I'm going to use that for, but we'll see. We'll see what I come up with. This doesn't have any kind of like bottom shoe or dirty laundry compartment or anything, but I'm not mad about that. Again, it's just a different way to use the same amount of space. So we think this is going to be really good. We are going to be taking it for just over 2 weeks. So it's 10 days of walking, getting there. It takes like a day and a half and all that kind of timeline. Cotswold video, if that interests you. If not, this backpack, that's kind of the ins and outs of it. Those are the features that it has. We are gonna give it a shot and then we can tell you like, yeah, that was really great. We're so glad we spent that money on it. Or if we're gonna be like, oh, I don't know, that pink one was only like $35 or what have you. But those are the features on those two backpacks. Specifically, the Osprey was the one that was coming up as a search term. So if that's what's bringing you here, hope that was helpful. And if not, I would honestly, genuinely love to know that. Like, what did I miss? What could I have spoken to? Was I too close to the camera, too far? Like, anything. Love to hear some feedback on that. Okay, well, we missed Wesley today. Some backpacks instead, which isn't really a great trade-off. But thank you so much for being here, and we will see you tomorrow.